Last night I was having twin flame telepathy with Sebastian while I was at the park. I was trying to get grounded. And I wrote a poem while I was with him in spirit. And it was beautiful. It was just so heartwarming that he brings this out of me. Being in this union helps me see that the parts of me that I thought were lost, like a poet. I used to be a poet. I used to be a songwriter. I used to be a pianist. I used to be a singer. I used to be a whole bunch of things, and I lost that. And, well, I didn't lose it. It's just, it was buried. And so I wrote a poem to him, and I didn't send it. I don't know that I will. Maybe. I'm not sure. If the divine wills it, I suppose. But if not, then I'll probably just keep it to myself. I'm just noticing that there's a redo happening in our connection. And I don't want to screw it up this time. I don't want to be immature. I don't want to hurt him at all. And there were things that I would do out of pettiness just to hurt him, out of an unhealed trauma response. And one time he tried to protect me. We were walking down the street and there was this man who looked like he was in a gang, and Sebastian told me to get behind him. And I did. And once the guy passed, just to piss Sebastian off, I talked to him. I was like, "Hi, have a good day." And just to do it, just because I wouldn't let him be in the masculine role. I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand being in my feminine, to know that I do need protection. And in the physical world, if we're together in union, there are a lot of threats that come at twin flames together, right? So I should have appreciated that, even if there was no threat, and even if nothing did happen. I should have appreciated how protective he was being and wanting to keep me safe. It was a beautiful thing. And instead, I used pettiness, because there was an unhealed trauma in me. I didn't know how to be feminine yet. I didn't know how to access my femininity. I didn't know how to be vulnerable and expressing, I really do need you. I really do need protection. I really do need healing. I really do need help. I really do need you to provide for me. I really do need that. If we are in our feminine energy, then that's such a vulnerable place, right? And if you embody that as the divine feminine quite often, that is a very vulnerable place to be. And with that vulnerability, it opens you up to universal blessings. And the more that God can pour into you, the more love that gets poured into you, the more blessings, the more abundance, the more of a target you are, right? The more necessary it is for that protection. The more necessary it is that you start calling on the masculine energy to protect the union and protect the abundance and protect, you know what I mean? The sacredness of it. So I instantly was met with backlash from the 3D, because I had just entered an energy of pettiness with him when that happened. And so sure enough, a few seconds later, we're at the intersection, and there are two women sitting in a car with their windows down, and he just yells across the street at them. He was like, "Hey ladies, looking good," or something like that. He was flirting with these two girls just because I was in the pettiness. I was in very petty energy. And so he was reflecting that. He was mirroring that right back to me. Right back to me. It had to happen. It wasn't his fault. It was my fault. But it wasn't my fault. It was an unhealed wound. So I found that last night I was crying at the park. It was about I don't know, 1 a.m, and I was just sitting there quietly talking to him telepathically. And he was saying, I'm ready to come heal you. Do you want my healing now? Do you want my healing? And when I was with him originally, about 5 or 6 weeks ago, the healing was so profound and it was so intense and it was so dramatic. I had to run. And I did. I ran. I was a runner. I say was. I still am in some cases. I used to be the chaser. Now I'm the runner. And I see now with last night's session with him, I guess, that I'm genuinely afraid as a feminine to give power over to a man. Some sort of power has to be given in a way that I am led, right? He has to have authority as well. I have authority and sovereignty in my life, in my reality, in my soul, of my soul. But he also has a level of authority in this connection. And as I think most of us would want, I want him to have free will. I want him to just on autopilot say something like, get behind me, protect, like, I'm going to just please get behind me. Like, I think that's beautiful. And I think that that is love. It allows someone to choose that, right? If they want to. And at the time I couldn't accept it. I couldn't accept his healing. I couldn't accept his protection. I had my whole life witnessed women claim they want a man's protection, but then as soon as it happens, they are forced to submit. There needs to be a level of submission. You're going to feel vulnerable. You're going to feel exposed. You're going to feel like this person could screw up. They could fuck this all up. If I put this much power in his hands, he could fuck it up. And so the women in my life that I've seen up to this point have always expected men to do that, but then we would never allow men to do that because we as women couldn't allow them to do that. And for me, I'm nervous. I get nervous and antsy when a man tries to protect me. It almost feels like overkill. Like, you don't need to protect me. There's no threat. But there is a threat. And there's actually a threat quite often to me. Energetically, my life as a light being, as a being of light on planet Earth right now, it is a threat. If I do not protect my energy, then I'll be drained, fatigued, tired, sick, unwell, unhealthy. I could die. Literally, that's, And so I had to accept that protection is necessary, and I need to call on that. And I do want to see the masculine protect me. I do. And there's the truth of it all, is that I was thinking it made me weak if a man would want to protect me. It implied in my head that he saw me as weak. He saw me as something that, he needed to overpower. But that's not what protection is. Protection isn't overpowering someone. I just never got to see a healthy man protect a healthy woman before. And I, up to this point, thought that to ask a man, could you please protect me? I need this. I need this. I need you to shield me. I need you to hold me today. I need you to call me more today. I need extra love today. I need you to cancel plans with your buddy today and hang out with me. And because I've never really done that. I've been so independent my whole life that I didn't really do that from a place of love. I would do that in relationships from a place of, I'm needy, help me. I need you here because I say so. And boss and bully them in a way. Instead of just be like vulnerable and say, I'm so sensitive today, and I'm I'm needing your love more than ever. I feel sad, and I feel like you're the only one that could maybe take this pain. And to be that vulnerable with him, it's such a gift. But there is that fear that it will be matched with, no, I can't do that for you. And then that's where I kind of just draw a blank. Like, that's where I kind of black out, because it's at that moment that I would feel so let down. And I would feel so like I knew it. I knew you wouldn't do it. And it's because I'd been disappointed so much in the past that I would just squash any desires I had at all. I would just hide desires that I had at all. If I wanted my man to stay with me on a Friday night instead of hang out with his buddies, then I wouldn't even say anything. I would just start to silently resent him and his friends, because I just repressed so many desires, because I assumed the answer would always be no. And again, this is why it's so important to take your power back as a conscious creator. The 3D matrix may tell you no, but it doesn't matter that it tells you no. Because now, as God, as you are God, you are the divine. So now if you're told, like for instance, if I say, can you stay home from your friends and hang out with me and cuddle, and we watch like Moana or something. If he says, you know what, I don't want that. There was this feeling like, well, I'm not going to go against his free will. I'm not going to go against his free will and demand it. But now what I can do is I can go in my head and say, I love that he loves me so much that he wants to be with me. Changing to that reality by selecting it in my imagination is a lot different than forcing the 3D. Forcing the 3D reality is manipulation. And honestly, that's dark magic, in my opinion. Yelling at somebody, that's witchcraft, like spell work. Yelling at somebody being like, well, that's not fair. You always go out with them and you never hang out with me. That is such manipulation, and that's such a tool of darkness, really, that if you go within and you say inside your head, I love that he just told me yes. He said he's going to do it. I'm so happy. We're going to love Moana, and I'm going to make him popcorn, and he's going to love this, and it's going to be great. And if you go in your head and you hear yes, even though the 3D told you no, that's how you win the game. That's how you get your needs met. But you meet your needs first, you see? And I hadn't done that. I until now, I've never been in a relationship knowing the law of assumption. I've only ever been in relationships. I never knew how powerful I was as a co-creator with spirit. I never knew that as God, I am selecting the version of reality I want to live. I didn't know that. So anytime I would say, I really want this, babe. Can you stay home with me today? I'm so sad. And I need just a margarita and maybe cuddles and stuff. And I was with men who would never do the whole cuddling thing. But again, I didn't know my power back then. I could have actually changed them. I could have internally shifted to a version where they're already changed. But I'm not going there. Point is, I never had men who would stay home and cuddle with me, you know? And so now, because I know what it is I want, and because the desire that I have is vocalized, even if it's met with, no, Jen, I don't want to do that. I'm sorry. I can't do that. What I realize now is that's one reality. That's the reality I'm in right now. He says no because I'm in this reality, in a parallel universe, in a parallel reality. He told me yes. He not only told me yes, he said, sure, do you want your favorite popcorn? Like, let me cuddle you and we'll watch Moana. Like, in a different reality, that's what he did. Right? And shifting your consciousness to that reality is very easy. It's just catching yourself as soon as you're told no in this reality. Saying, wait, I'm God, and that's not the answer I wanted. So going in your mind, in your imagination, and saying, I love that he said yes. Oh my God, we're gonna have so much fun. And then envisioning what it would be like to cuddle with him watching Moana, right? But the divine feminine in me is just a small child, a little girl who never got to see a healthy man take care of her. I was abandoned by 2 dads. I had 2 dads that abandoned me. And my grandpa, the only man that was in my life to actually protect me, died when I was 16. So I had really no male figures at like the most important times of my life. And so going forward, I needed to see what a healthy divine masculine looks like, but I have to build him in my head. I'm building what it is. The masculine in me is building it for me. It reminds me of Jesus's quote in the Bible. It's, I go to prepare a place. So the Christ in me, the divine masculine in me, is preparing a place. Selecting, with my Christ consciousness, my Christ awareness, selecting a new version of reality that does exist. If it didn't exist, I wouldn't be able to see it so readily. If it didn't exist, I wouldn't be able to see Moana and us cuddling and popcorn. It does exist. There is a reality like that where I would not have been able to see it. I can't see something that doesn't exist. Think about it. I can't visualize something that doesn't exist. Right? So it's up to you. Do you believe that you should love yourself enough to receive a date night in with Moana and your boyfriend? Do you think that you should be prioritized and he should love you so much that he chooses you on a Friday night instead of his friends? But so many of us feel this guilt. We're like, oh, but I don't want to do that to him though. He really wanted his friends. In this reality, he really wanted his friends. Yes. But in that other reality, he really wanted to make sure that you were comforted during your time of need. You see? You have to look at it like alternate parallel universes. I mean it. I mean that. Because we are infinite source, infinite consciousness. There's infinite realities. And though there is one reality where he told you no, and you feel bad about it because you're like, wow, he really wants to be with his friends. He does. In that reality, he chooses his friends over you. But there is an infinite number, and one of them includes him saying yes and then renting Moana. You see? It's how we have to start thinking into the future. Like, in order to get what we want, we can't force the 3D. And it's already been established we get what we want. It's already been established that we're God. It's already been established that we're going to get heaven on earth. We've already established that, okay? That's basics. That's 101. We're God, we get heaven. Now, how do you get heaven? Well, you don't force it on somebody. You don't force somebody to change. You don't force the 3D to change. You gracefully bring in a new reality to layer on top of this one, to replace this one. You shift to a different reality. It's what you're doing. You're shifting to a different reality, and it's going to seamlessly, almost magically, take over this reality that at once was a no. And you're going to feel so different. You're going to feel like, wow, I do have power. So even in your vulnerability, that's true power, ladies. Telling him, I really do actually need you. I love you and I just want to be around you. Can we please cuddle? I miss you. Like, there's so much power in that submission. If you're doing it right. But most of us have been raised to not ever like the word submission. We don't even like the idea of it. We run from it. We run from it. Why? Because of abusive men. We run from it because we didn't know what to do when abusive men took our submission as weakness. But your twin flame is not an abusive man. Your twin flame is God. Your twin flame is love. Your twin flame is pure divine holiness. And so, ladies, as a divine feminine myself, I understand the fear of laying it out all on the line. And, you know, in the way that like a cat would roll over on its back, or a puppy, and let you pat its stomach, you know, that is like the ultimate sign of submission. But it's like, it's really difficult for a feminine to do that with the masculine, especially after having been burned so many times. Not particularly by your masculine, by them, but by other masculines, you know? And it's tough sometimes to let go of control. To really be that soft, feminine energy and be like, you know what? I kind of wanted you to do that. I kind of loved that you protected me. I loved it. I actually want you to do that. And I really think that it's the sexiest thing about you, really. And then same with like providing. Like, I love that you work. I love that you bring home money. I love that you spoil me. I love that you want to take care of me. I love that. I want this, and I want more of this because I'm happy. And then, the same for last night, it was healing for me. I kept telling him, I'm not sure I'm ready for this yet. I'm not sure. Like, I'm scared it's going to be too invasive. I'm scared another exorcism or two is on the horizon. I'm scared. Like, that was traumatizing. He performed an exorcism on me, and it was traumatizing. I'm scared of the power and the authority that he has as a divine masculine. And I've told him this, and he agrees with me as a divine feminine that he's scared of me. It's just the power, it's the intensity of this connection. I'm grateful for its transformation. I'm grateful it's so transformative, but I'm not grateful that it hurts, And so I was telepathically telling him that it's okay that I run away right now. I'm going to give myself permission to run away from you and the healing. It's okay. And so the divine will then be telling him and showing him signs to not come towards me. That I'm not ready for that healing and that he's not supposed to reach out. So the divine will work on my behalf because I'm the one, as God of my reality, creating separation because I'm not ready, and I'm telling him I'm not ready. But after the poem was written, I realized like where the fear stems from. The fear is stemming from a lack of independent agency over myself. Like, if I were to give him that power of submission, like if I were to let him lead, let him protect, let him provide, let him heal me, what would it do? Would it boost his ego? Would he feel this sudden, yeah, I'm powerful, that's right, and like become overbearing? Could it turn? And this is where it really pays to know thyself, ladies, because no, it could not. It cannot turn. Because you will not allow it to. Because you are unconditional love towards self. So no, it cannot turn. Because you won't allow it to. If it ever in your relationships that was not with your twin flame, you ever said, you know what, this is breadcrumbs and I don't approve, and you've walked away and you broke up with them, that's how much you loved yourself. You loved yourself enough to say, no, I deserve better. So why wouldn't you with your twin flame? I don't care if they're twin flame or Santa Claus. Why wouldn't you say, look, you took too much power. You're getting a big head about it. You're trying to overpower me. I don't like it. I'm leaving. You got to trust yourself to know that you will not allow it. You won't stand for it. Right? But it's your true twin. If it's your true twin flame, they don't want to overpower you. They want to liberate you. Just like they want to liberate themselves. They do not want to confine you, control you, or overpower you. So, and they're not trying to change you. They love the way you are. They're not trying to change you. In fact, you are perfect for them. They're a perfect match. If they even changed one hair on your head, it wouldn't be right. They don't want to do anything but enhance your beauty, enhance the perfection that you are, enhance your femininity. And they do this by protecting you and providing for you and sheltering you and things that a masculine would want to do. But not in today's day and age. In today's day and age, it's terrifying for a man to want to be a man like that. especially a young guy, like if we're talking 20s, 30s, if we're talking a 70 or 80-year-old man, that's from a different generation. Yeah, it's easy for the man to want to provide like that. But in today's modern society, it's difficult for men to want to do that, to get the go-ahead from the divine to provide and protect and lead and, be a man, be a masculine. It's tough. It's a fine line. These men really do have it tough in today's society. But so do these women. These women, we've been trained, brainwashed, to believe that love is not going to protect us. It's going to overpower us. That's not what love would do. That's what aggressive, abusive men do. That's not love. And sweetly, kindly, submissively asking your man, can we please just hang out today? I want to just cuddle and I just want to just see you, please, today. On the other days when you're feeling extremely independent and happy and you're going to be like, okay, you can go out with the boys. That wouldn't be a horrible thing. I think I'll just go out with the girls and get my nails done or something. Or I'll just stay home and read. Or I don't care. It doesn't matter. Just leave. It's not going to be like that clingy, needy, vulnerable, but I need you, it won't be like that all the time. It'll be like that once in a while. And when you're like that once in a while and you need extra care and attention, guess who's going to be there? You. You're going to be there for you. You're going to be the one that goes into your own head, into your own imagination and says, I love that he said yes and he's staying home with me to watch Moana. I love that. Because you give yourself your needs. You fulfill your needs now. That's why every man you were with before couldn't fulfill your needs. Because you didn't fulfill your needs. You didn't even acknowledge you had needs. And you definitely did not know how to fulfill those needs. You do it in your imagination first. You select a version of them that you want to be with instantly in that moment. Even if you hear him say, no, honey, I got to go out with the guys. I'm sorry. You go in your head to the version of reality that he said yes. And you say to yourself, wow, I love that he said yes. It's so incredible. We get to really hang out. We get to hang out and try to get as descriptive as possible if you can to really make it seem believable to yourself. Wow, we're going to get my favorite popcorn and he's going to rent Moana and I hope I get my comfy blanket and I'm so excited. And try to immerse yourself in that reality as best you can. Try not to remember that you just got told no. Tell yourself yes and stay in that reality of yes. You will watch him conform so fast it would make your head spin. It depends on how easily believable your subconscious felt it was. How believable did it seem? That you really heard yes. How believable? Do you believe that reality or do you believe the no reality? Because both of them are real. Which one did you believe? Which one's your dominant thought? Which one's your most readily accepted reality? Watch him change immediately. Something may happen. He may go, oh, well, I wanted to hang out with Brandon, but Brandon got food poisoning. Oh God, that's horrible. Let's actually not use that one. Let's use a different example. I wanted to hang out with the boys, but they canceled the plans. Or he may just say I don't know, babe, maybe you're right. Maybe I should stay home tonight. I want to be here with you. I do want to be here with you. Something will happen. It will just feel more natural for him to do the thing that you keep saying is true. So if you say, no, he's not going to hang out with me, he will continue doing the thing that is most natural. And that is to go out with his friends and leave you alone. You need to change the way that you see reality. Both are true realities. One you were told yes, one you were told no. The only difference is one is imaginary. One is invisible right now. That's it. That's the only difference. Okay? So I needed to really be okay in my divine feminine energy in that I want him to be a man. I want to be the first girl in his entire life that allows him to be a man. Because he's never had that before. He's never had anyone trust him. He's never let me down once. Sebastian has never let me down, ever. He is the best man I've ever met, and most perfect man for me. He's never let me down once. So why then would I not trust him to lead in a very powerful, godly way? Why would I then trust him not to be everything that I need? Or give me everything that he knows I need or I want? Why? He's always given me what I wanted and what I needed. There was never a time. In fact, he gave me more than that. There were surprises and little moments of like, oh my God, did he really just do that? I think he just said that. Like for him, when we were walking on the street, he protected me. That was such a nice little, that was a blessing. It was a nice little surprise. I'd never seen a man want to protect me before. What it did was it showed me that that's his natural set point. His natural set point is intuitively, I'm a provider and I'm a protector. Like his natural set point, no matter how young, because he is only 18 years old. His natural set point as a man is intuitively, instinctively knowing to provide and to protect. And I love that. I think that's amazing. And I think that should be promoted and enhanced and highlighted and endorsed. I don't think we should, as women, be belittling them like I did. I even in my head called him weak. I was like, wow, why would you be so weak? What? Trying to protect a woman from a guy who looked like a threat? That is the least weak thing a man could do. But I knew instinctively that it was because of trauma from as a child. I always saw, I don't know why, it's the complete opposite. It doesn't make sense, but I always saw something like that as weakness. Like, oh, look at you trying to be a tough boy, huh? Like, oh, look at you trying to be a tough guy. No, let me handle this. I've got it. Just grow up. That's what I used to see as a child. The women in my family were so rudely distorted in their masculine energy that there was a distortion of the masculinity, and there was never allowed to be divine masculine channeling through. So I would see something like that as like, ooh, just trying to be a tough boy. Like, whatever. I don't need protection. Move over. I'll protect you. Shit. That is because I had women who were always so dominant and aggressive. And they needed to prove something. The women in my family, she could never fall back into her divine feminine role and allow herself to be led, which is why all the women in my life are not led to happiness generally. They don't allow God to lead them to happiness. It's always rush, do. I've got to do that. I've got to call this place. I got to do this. It's always the masculine energy they're in, but it's a distortion. They never were able to fall back in their feminine and just receive. And if I would have just been like, oh, honey, I love that you did that. I could have ran up to hold his hand and been like, babe, for real? Did you just do that? He probably would have said something like, what? I don't know. He just kind of looked threatening, didn't he? And he did. That guy, I have to admit, looked a little threatening, but we're in broad daylight on a street, a very busy street. There's nothing going to happen to us. However, accidents do happen. Things do happen. And that is the divine masculine's role, is to protect you in the 3D. As a Hierophant, he is there as a high priest to protect you in the 3D reality. When you are there as a high priestess, to protect him in the 5D. Right? In the higher planes of existence. So though you know things at a higher level, like I knew that guy wasn't going to hurt me, I was not feeling any sort of threat from that man. But my twin flame did not know that, right? I have the ability to see higher than him. So he didn't know that it wasn't a threat. If I could have just been like, oh honey, that's so sweet. Thank you. I love that you do that for me. Like, I really do love that you want to protect me. I think it's cute. I think it is cute. I think it's so chivalrous. And if I would have been in that energy, I could have promoted more of it instead of hurting his feelings. I hurt his feelings the second I rejected it. The second I got petty and said, hey, how you doing? Like, I did that because that's what my mom would have done, what my grandma would have done, what women in my family would have done just to make a man never do it again. Just to make their spouse demasculated and emasculated. Is that what it is? That's what happened. All the women in my family would do that. They wanted men to feel weak. Like, I don't need you. I don't know why. Why? All the women I've ever known wanted their men to think, I don't need you. I've got it. It's fine. It's fine. I don't need you. I don't need you. Go hang out with your boys then. Shit, I don't care. Leave. Like, that is such a harsh environment to be in and to cultivate love. You don't want love. You want a dictatorship. It's grotesque. And I can't even believe that I had to endure it for as long as I did, even as a child. And I know Sebastian goes through that. His mom is very much the same. An overbearing mother, an overbearing wife, an overbearing woman at all, who tries to emasculate masculinity. Eradicate masculinity from the planet, from their world, from their life, due to unhealed trauma. And I refuse. I thought it was sexy. I love a man that wants to protect me. I need protection. I do a lot of controversial shit. I need protecting. I'm not too proud to admit it. I need to be protected. I need to be provided for. The universe has to provide for me. I'm not too proud to admit it. I need to have somebody take care of me, emotionally support me once in a while. When I don't do it for myself, I want someone external of me to do it. Right? So I have to be in my own head. I have to keep affirming that he does that and he loves that. I can't affirm that he loves to protect me if I've just blasted him and embarrassed him for trying to be a protector. So people keep wanting a happier relationship, a healthier relationship with your man, but you don't want to admit that as a woman, you're making him obsolete. He doesn't even have a place or a role in your life because you're so dominantly opposed to having a man take over that you can't get within 10 feet of one that's worthy of having you. So the aggression in these women nowadays, it's off-putting. And it's too dominating. And it's like, get away from me. Ew. No, I don't want you. Why would I want you like that? Nobody wants you like that. Go fucking heal yourself. Like, figure it out, because that's abrasive and I'm not going to be around it. It's abusive. It's borderline abusive to be a woman like that towards a man. What I did on the street and being petty, that was abusive. I hurt him. And I'm not a fan. I hated myself. Immediately, I knew why he was then flirting with those girls. It happened because the 3D had to mirror my pettiness right back to me to show me something. It's a mirror. The universe doesn't even have a set intention as to why it's showing you that. It's showing you that because you were in the energy of pettiness. So it's reflected right back at you with no agenda. The universe does not have an agenda. Like, oh, I'm going to teach her a lesson today. There's nothing but a mirror. There is no consciousness to a mirror, right? It's simply a mirror. There's no God wanting to punish you because you were petty. It's the 3D mirror reflecting to you that you were petty. If you can learn from your mistake quick enough, you don't have to live it again. If you don't learn, then you will continue getting the same shit results. You will see the 3D hurt you over and over and over, and you'll wonder why, and you'll wonder why, and you're noticing a theme. Oh, that's why. Because I'm hurting me. Because I'm lying to myself. Because I want a protector, a man who takes care of me and provides and protects. That's what I want. I might be in the year 2024 and I might be in the wrong generation, but that is what your girl wants. That is at a soul level what I want. So here I was lying to myself. As soon as he went to go protect me, I was like, oh no, I don't want that. Yes, I do. And it was a lie. It was a lie of the devil for me to say I didn't want that. I loved every second of it. And there it is. Confessional. I loved every single second of it. I was deserving of that. I'm deserving of a man that wants to protect me from other men that seem threatening. And, you know? Now, there's a big difference between an actual threat, or something that seems like an actual threat. Like that fair and square was an actual threat. You know, Sebastian had escaped people like that, like in gangs, like people were out to get him before. So he knows all too well what it's like to have people in the 3D like hurting you. So he had every right to feel the way that he felt and to want to protect me. And it was beautiful. And I really wish that I never would have been that petty. I wish I would have said, ran up to him and been like, I can't believe you did that. It's so sweet. I've never had a guy do that for me before. I loved it. Thank you. And I could have made him feel so secure in his manliness. I could have made him feel secure in masculinity, secure in our relationship, secure in the role that he has in our relationship. I could have made him feel so wanted. And I could have established an even deeper relationship with him, but instead I chose pettiness, which is fine because I learned from it. But if you don't learn from it, then you're not going to have a good relationship with a man. And then you're going to bitch and moan that you don't have a good relationship with a man, which is going to perpetuate the fact that you do not have a good relationship with a man. So no, the submission of women is not a bad thing when done properly and done with a king who deserves it. When you submit to an asshole, you're going to get played. You're going to get heartbroken. It's going to happen. It's going to happen naturally. You're submitting and giving your power over to a guy that doesn't deserve it. You are going to get completely blasted. But if you're giving it over to your twin flame who loves your soul and honors you as a goddess, there is zero possibility of you getting hurt. This is why healing is so important for me and for all twin flames. To be in union, in harmonious union, you need to heal. And so last night in the park, I was like, I'm not ready to heal. I don't want to come towards you because it's going to be abrasive. It's going to be hard hitting. You're going to make me give up things that I like still. I like being my old way. But I don't really. I don't like being the old way. Oh my God, that truck says, follow me to your next. Oh my God. It literally just, did you hear that? It says, follow me to your next. Oh my God. I don't want the old. So follow me to your next. Let's follow Christ to your next home. Your next reality. Your next parallel universe that you get to have. If the old isn't doing it for you anymore, then maybe the new will. But you have to want it. You have to want the new. You have to think the old is so redundant and played out and boring that you don't want it anymore. It doesn't do anything for you. There's zero purpose to it. There's zero purpose to thinking like that. There's zero purpose to behaving like that. There's zero purpose to that addiction. There's zero purpose to that habit. You have to want this change more than you want anything. You have to want the discipline. To be truly in love is discipline. It really is. To stay in love, it's discipline. It takes a lot to stay in a healthy dynamic. You have to want it. You have to want the healing. You have to want to repent and turn from your ways and go towards God. Go towards love. Go towards healing. You have to want that more than you want anything. And it makes me nervous even saying that, because I don't know if I want it more than anything. I think I want other things ahead of it. I think I still want some things ahead of God. I think I still want some things ahead of twin flame union. So I don't know, you know? And I have tasted the sweet nectar of twin flame union, and even I don't know if I want that bliss back. Because it's going to take discipline. It's going to take saying no, removing toxic people from my life, stopping behaviors and patterns that are not good for me, thought patterns that aren't getting me anywhere, right? It's going to take discipline. And that's what a lot of us don't want. We don't want the discipline of it. We want true unconditional love. We want twin flame union, but we're not willing to risk anything for it. So going forward, I'm going to risk a lot for it. And I'm going to have to. So even though last night I told him, I'm not ready. The second I say I'm ready, the divine will tell him that I'm ready. Because I will be shifting to a reality where I start seeing us healing more. We'll be smoking weed, because that's like our favorite thing to do. We smoke cannabis and we heal. And we start doing shamanic work when we smoke. So I'll start seeing that. I'll start envisioning that. I'll start imagining laying next to him more often and calling him and him tickling me. And I'll start imagining when I'm ready, the God within me will start seeing union. And then the Most High God, aka him, his higher self, will start telling him, okay, reach out to her, call her, text her. He'll feel this natural, compelling feeling of like, I have to reach out to her right now. Of course, because I'm envisioning union. I want twin flame union. I want love. I want unconditional love, and I want my twin flame, and Sebastian is my twin flame. So I'm going to get what I want the second I say I want it. But I have to be sure. No one is going to make me sure for me. My spirit guides aren't going to be like, okay, she's ready. No, I say I'm ready. I say when I'm not ready. I am God. I can either choose to not be in love, or I can choose to be in love. I have free will. I can do whatever I want. So once I decide that, okay, now it's time, I will start visualizing. I'll start affirming he loves me. I'm so happy he's reaching out to me. I love that he's calling me. And I'll really put my heart behind it too. It won't be just like vain affirmations where I'm just like, he's calling me, he's calling me, he's calling me, he's calling me. No, it will actually be like felt. I will be putting myself in that energy of already having the phone call, already hearing his voice. And that is how God will know that it's time. It's not, God is not external of me. God is not outside of me. I am God. And he is God. And so the God self in him will hear when I'm ready. And the God self in him hears when I'm not ready. And because he loves me and he loves that I have free will, he respects my decision to not be in twin flame union. And he loves me so much that when I am ready to be in twin flame union, he will come running. That's how much I'm loved. And that's how much you're loved. Thank you for listening, guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.